So the 2024 NBA season is in the books, and I wanted to give you guys my winners and losers from this past NBA season. All the way from October to June, we have seen countless moments in the NBA that are going to stick out for a long time. And some players, teams, and fan bases definitely felt like winners this season with their expectations. And unfortunately, some also felt like losers after the 2024 season. The first winner I have to talk about has to be the Boston Celtics organization as a whole. From the front office with Brad Stevens going out and acquiring Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis last offseason, all the way down to the players themselves. We saw guys like Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Derek White elevate themselves into a new tier after this regular season and playoffs. The Celtics went 64-18 throughout the regular season and then dominated in the playoffs, going 16-3 across all 4 playoff rounds, with one of the more well-balanced rosters and core 5 in recent history. Jrue Holiday and Derek White were just absolutely amazing for them on the defensive end of the floor, but also hustling, making the extra passes, and knocking down tough shots on the offensive end of the floor. Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum have emerged into being the best duo in the NBA currently because of their ability on both ends of the floor to guard teams' best players, but also can knock down big-time shots themselves. Joe Mazzulla did a complete 180 from last year's playoff run in which they lost in 7 games to the Miami Heat and winning an NBA Finals in just his second year as an NBA coach. So yeah, take it all into consideration. The Celtics and their fans are big winners from this past season. They finally got it done. The first loser I want to talk about has to be the Phoenix Suns and their organizational strategy. The Phoenix Suns made a blockbuster move at the 2023 trade deadline, trading their younger guys of Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson to go out and acquire Kevin Durant. They also mortgaged the future as well, trading most of their draft picks every other year to the Brooklyn Nets. And then they doubled down after losing in round 2 last year in the 2023 playoffs. They acquired Bradley Beal this past offseason, and the Suns went on to go 49-33 and got swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves in round number 1, in which 3 of those 4 games weren't even close. Kevin Durant isn't getting any younger. Bradley Beal struggled to stay on the floor consistently and is making on average $50+ million over the next 3 seasons, and they even fired their head coach Frank Vogel after 1 year coaching the team. The Suns have already talked about drafting Bronny James in this upcoming draft or trading future picks in general, so this is a very risky strategy for a Western Conference that is absolutely loaded and for a Suns team that may not even be in the tier 1 of those teams next year. Staying in the Western Conference and going back to the winner side of things, yeah, Anthony Edwards, big winner from this past season. Anthony Edwards was incredible in the 2023 playoffs against the Denver Nuggets in round number 1, went out to be the breakout star in the 2023 FIBA World Cup last summer as well, and this year he carried that momentum into the 2024 season, posting 26 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5 assists a night, was an all-star as a 22-year-old, and then in that sweep against the Phoenix Suns, he averaged 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, and then helped take down the best team in the Western Conference, the reigning NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets, posting 27.7 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in that series, and helped bring the Timberwolves to the Western Conference Finals. And now Minnesota finally has their franchise star for the next 10+ years. I'm sure Minnesota fans feel like big winners from this past season, and Anthony Edwards is now talked about to being a top 10 player in this league. What an incredible rise from him just from last year alone. Draymond Green has to be a loser from this past season, right? He started off the 2024 season with back-to-back suspensions. Back in November, he received a 5-game suspension for basically choking out Rudy Gobert just to start off the season, and then not even a month later took a swing at Yusuf Nurkic in the face and was suspended indefinitely by the Golden State Warriors. Draymond is coming off a 4-year, $100 million extension he received last offseason by Golden State, and with the on-the-court issues, quick ejections this year, it was a very disappointing season as a whole for the Golden State Warriors, and in my opinion, Draymond Green was at the forefront of that. It also didn't help his public image either during the 2024 playoffs when he was on TNT's broadcast, and his public image just took a nosedive. He was constantly hating on Rudy Gobert and the Minnesota Timberwolves, and NBA fans were not having it. So in my opinion, Draymond Green was a big loser in the 2024 season. We talked about Anthony Edwards pretty much bringing new life to the Minnesota Timberwolves as a big winner. We got to talk about that for the New York Knicks as well. More importantly, talking about Jalen Brunson. Honestly, we could talk about the Nova Knicks as a whole, just bringing life back to New York basketball, taking the Knicks to the second round once again, and we're 1 game away from making it to the conference finals. And who knows, if injuries didn't happen to Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Jalen Brunson, they could have made it to the conference finals. Jalen Brunson this past season put up the best year of his career, posting 28.7 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists a night, shooting 48% from the field, 40% from 3, 85% from the line. He finished 5th in MVP voting. He was an all-star on All-NBA second team and is the biggest star in New York Knicks basketball, I think surpassing Carmelo Anthony now in Houston, so basically since Patrick Ewing from the 90s. My third loser is going to be the LA Clippers' future. Once again, the Clippers had all the talent in the world to make a run in the playoffs, but once again, their star players ended up not being fully available. Kawhi Leonard missed most of the round 1 series against the Dallas Mavericks, which marks basically the 4th straight year that Kawhi has been hurt for a Clippers playoff run and hasn't been healthy since the bubble playoffs. In 2021, got hurt in round 2 against the Utah Jazz, was not healthy at all during 2022. In 2023, got hurt basically right away against the Phoenix Suns. Same thing happened this year against the Dallas Mavericks. Paul George is facing free agency. Who knows what's going to happen with him this offseason? Could he leave the Clippers? James Harden is a free agent as well, and these guys aren't getting any younger. They've traded a lot of their future first-round picks away, and with teams like the Nuggets, Dallas, the Thunder, the Timberwolves, and others in the Western Conference only getting better, this is a very scary situation for the LA Clippers. So in my opinion, big losers from this past season. But going back to the winners, yeah, it's got to be the OKC Thunder and their future. The Thunder were the best team record-wise in the Western Conference this past season with one of the youngest rosters in NBA history to do so. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just 25 years old and has surpassed the player that he was traded for back in 2019 in Paul George. Shai was a top 5 player in the NBA this past season. Chad Holmgren was a top 3 rookie. Jalen Williams took another step. They have great role players like Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace, and Aaron Wiggins. Josh Giddey may get traded this offseason, but should fetch them solid value. They have cap space. They have every draft pick under the sun once again. The Thunder are going to be right back in the thick of things for the next 5 to 10 years, and you got to be super thrilled about it if you're Sam Presti of the Thunder, if you're the Thunder staff, the players, and the fan base as a whole, because this team isn't going anywhere. And my last winner from this past season has to be the rise of Victor Wembanyama. Wemby had sky-high expectations, and everybody was ready to clown on him after his poor performance in his first Summer League game. Well, Wemby had one of the best rookie seasons of all time, putting up 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists a night, shot 47% from the field, finished on all defensive first team, won the Rookie of the Year award, and finished runner-up in Defensive Player of the Year. And oh yeah, he's just 20 years old. And I'm lumping in 2 fan bases as my losers, and it's because of organizational incompetence. The first one, I'm sorry, Bulls fans, you gotta deal with this team in purgatory. There's talks about the Bulls even going out and re-signing DeMar DeRozan and running this team back. And hey, you may be fine next year, but that is going to be the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference, and most likely a round 1 exit if you make it out of the play-in tournament. Just re-signing Nikola Vucevic last offseason, not trading away Alex Caruso or Zach LaVine, and fumbling the development of Patrick Williams, and not entering a proper rebuild. The Chicago Bulls were big losers from this past season. And I'm sorry, Nets fans as well. You had to watch Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown just win an NBA title with the picks you gave them in the Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce trade. The Nets want to add a second star to Mikal Bridges, who failed at being a number 1 for them this past season. And this team is in no man's land right now in the Eastern Conference. So yeah, that is going to be it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Obviously, there's a lot more winners and losers from this past season. So let me know any ones that I didn't mention in this video in the comments. And if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate it if you dropped a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you are not already for all offseason content, including the upcoming NBA draft. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.